What's up, everyone? Today we're diving into the swamp of one of animation's most iconic franchises, Shrek.
What are you doing in my swamp?
With Shrek 5 just around the corner, it's the perfect time to revisit how a grumpy ogre and his talking donkey changed animation forever and created a cultural phenomenon that's still generating memes 2 decades later. Whether you're a die-hard fan who quotes every line or someone who somehow missed these green-tinted adventures, this is your one-stop guide to all things Shrek before the 5th installment drops. It all began in 2001 when DreamWorks flipped fairy tales upside down with an unlikely hero, an ogre who just wanted to be left alone in his swamp. Shrek, voiced by Mike Myers, who famously re-recorded all his lines with a Scottish accent after initially using a different voice, is perfectly content living in solitude until Lord Farquaad banishes fairy tale creatures to his swamp. Determined to reclaim his privacy, Shrek strikes a deal with the vertically challenged Farquaad, rescue Princess Fiona from a dragon-guarded castle, and get his swamp back. Simple, right? Along the way, he's joined by a motor-mouthed donkey, Eddie Murphy in one of animation's greatest voice performances, who becomes the perfect comedic foil to Shrek's grumpiness. When they finally rescue Fiona, Cameron Diaz, the twist is revealed. She's cursed to become an ogre at night and believes only true love's kiss will make her beautiful permanently. As they journey back to Duloc, Shrek and Fiona develop feelings for each other, but miscommunications lead Fiona to nearly marry Farquaad. In classic fairy tale fashion, Shrek crashes the wedding, confesses his feelings, and, after defeating Farquaad with help from Dragon, shares true love's kiss with Fiona. But in the franchise's first subversion of expectations, rather than becoming human permanently, Fiona transforms into an ogre full-time. The message? True beauty comes from within, and true love accepts you for who you are. If the first film established the world, Shrek 2 expanded it in every way possible, becoming what many consider the best film in the franchise. After their honeymoon, Shrek and Fiona receive an invitation to visit Fiona's royal parents in the kingdom of Far, Far Away, basically medieval Hollywood. The problem? They don't know their daughter is now permanently an ogre with an ogre husband. This introduces us to King Harold and Queen Lillian, who are, let's say, less than thrilled about their new son-in-law. Meanwhile, the fairy godmother schemes to have her son Prince Charming marry Fiona instead, as was apparently the original plan. But the real star of Shrek 2 is the introduction of Puss in Boots, voiced by Antonio Banderas. Initially hired to take out Shrek, this swashbuckling feline with adorable eyes quickly becomes the third member of the franchise's core group. After being transformed into humans by a potion, Shrek and Fiona grapple with the question, is being conventionally attractive better than being true to yourself? Ultimately, they choose authenticity over appearance, reinforcing the first film's message. In an action-packed climax featuring a giant gingerbread man named Mongo and a Knights program parody, Think Cops, Shrek defeats the fairy godmother, and King Harold redeems himself by taking a spell meant for Shrek. Then came Shrek the Third, often considered the franchise's low point, though it still has its moments. When King Harold croaks, literally as he'd been turned into a frog at the end of Shrek 2, Shrek faces the nightmare of becoming king of Far, Far Away, unless they can find another heir, Fiona's cousin Arthur Artie Pendragon. Meanwhile, Fiona announces she's pregnant, sending Shrek into a panic about fatherhood. Cue the daddy issues. While Shrek, Donkey, and Puss search for Artie, a high school outcast voiced by Justin Timberlake, Prince Charming gathers fairy tale villains to stage a coup and take over Far, Far Away. The film splits focus between Shrek mentoring Artie and Fiona, leading a princess resistance movement with Snow White, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, and Rapunzel, who turns traitor because she's in love with Charming. Eventually, Shrek convinces Artie to accept the throne, defeats Charming, and returns home just in time for Fiona to give birth to ogre triplets. Originally titled Shrek: The Final Chapter, this 4th installment was meant to conclude the saga until the franchise revival was announced. We find Shrek in full midlife crisis mode, trapped in the monotony of family life with screaming triplets, tourist groups visiting the celebrity ogre, and a severe lack of proper swamp time. Shrek yearns for the days when he was a feared ogre. Enter Rumpelstiltskin, who offers Shrek a magical contract, one day as a real ogre in exchange for any day from his past. Shrek unwittingly gives up the day he was born, creating an alternate reality where he never existed. In this dark timeline, Rumpelstiltskin rules Far, Far Away, Fiona became a hardened ogre resistance leader, Donkey works for witches, and Puss is an overweight house cat. Shrek has 24 hours to find true love's kiss with Fiona, who doesn't know him in this reality, to break the spell. The film cleverly revisits elements from previous movies while showing how important Shrek's existence was to everyone. It's basically It's a Wonderful Life with ogres. In an emotional climax, Shrek's selfless actions win back Fiona's heart, breaking the spell just in time. He returns to his family with a renewed appreciation for the chaotic life he once took for granted. From I'm a Believer to Holding Out for a Hero, from all-star to far, far away idol, the Shrek franchise revolutionized animated films with its blend of irreverent humor, pop culture references, genuine heart, and killer soundtracks. More than just a series of films, Shrek became a cultural touchstone that taught us important lessons. Beauty standards are bogus. Being yourself is always better than pretending. Family can be found in the most unexpected places. And most importantly, ogres are like onions. Now, as we prepare for Shrek 5, we can only wonder what new adventures await our favorite swamp dwellers. Will we see the ogre triplets all grown up? Will Donkey and Dragon's mutant babies return? Will Puss in Boots join forces with them again after his successful solo outings? Whatever happens, one thing's for sure. Shrek's cultural impact is far, far from over. If you enjoyed this recap, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and tell me in the comments. What's your favorite moment from the Shrek franchise? Is it the fairy godmother singing Holding Out for a Hero, the travel sequence from the first film, or maybe you're a better out than in purist? Until next time, remember, the swamp is always greener when you're the one who owns it.